Hey guys, hey, this is Anne Marie, the Anti-HR HR lady, and this is the Anti-HR channel. And I wanted to just say a quick word to you guys today, and you are watching this video on Thursday, the 27th, because I am participating in the February 28th blackout. So I will not be dropping a video this Friday. Instead, I'm dropping the video today on Thursday. Tomorrow, I'm planning to log off all social media. I will not be purchasing anything. I will not be participating in anything related to the United States of America on Friday. And I encourage others to do the same. Of course, it's up to you whether you do it or not, but I'm really not interested in you coming into my comments to tell me all the reasons that you're not going to do it. Move in silence on that one, okay? But for those of you who are going to participate in the blackout on Friday, please drop it in the comments. Give me a power sign, fist sign, power sign, emoji in the comments if you're going to participate in the blackout. But I will not be dropping any video on Friday. Neither will I be posting anything on Friday. So if anything comes up in the community on Friday, it means that I pre-scheduled it and it's dropping because it was scheduled. But I will not be doing any posting until Saturday, and I will not be doing any videos on Friday. Anyway, I wanted to give you guys a little story time because I've been thinking a lot about the Assembly of Incompetence that the current co-presidents have put together, and the mess that they're making, the very intentional mess that they're making. And it reminded me of an experience that I once had in a workplace. I want to tell this story to explain to you guys what they're doing and why they assembled this team of incompetence. So I used to work in a nonprofit organization. This is one of the shortest jobs I've ever worked at. I think I was there for all of 2 months before I put in my resignation. And I think I've mentioned this job before because I mentioned the president, and I always refer to her as the handmaiden of the devil. That is what I will always think of her as, because that's just how evil I thought this woman was. She worked for a very well-known reproductive health nonprofit, and I worked there for about 2 months before I got the hell up out of there. Within 6 weeks, I decided that it was not going to be the place for me to be, and I started planning my exit, and I was out of there with a new job offer in hand before the Christmas holiday. But one of the things that I noticed this person did, and this was a person who was clearly a narcissist, clearly a hostile, abusive person, created a very hostile work environment for everyone at the organization. But one of the things that I noticed is that she required unquestioned loyalty from her staff, which she was never going to get from me. She required that people operate without any boundaries, which she was never going to get from me. And the other thing that I noticed is that she had a tendency to hire people who had low levels of qualifications and experience. I was the only person on her team who had multiple years of experience and qualifications in my area of expertise, which is why we did not make a good team or a good fit. But when I looked at all the other people that were around me, the person that she had hired to oversee finance, the person that she hired to oversee the membership department, the person that she hired to oversee fundraising, the person that she hired as legal counsel, as her general counsel, they were all people who were either fresh out of school, or this was their first job in a role of that kind. They had little or low experience, which meant that they tended to accede to whatever it is that she wanted, and they were very consultative with her about what they wanted to do before they would do anything. They were simply following orders and executing on whatever she told them to do. So they didn't have a lot of fresh ideas or anything like that. They were kind of just executing what she wanted. And as soon as I got into my position, which at the time was Chief Operating Officer, it was very clear that she wanted to treat me in the same way she was treating these people, right? I had come into that position from another place where I was signing off on millions of dollars of contracts and transactions on a daily basis. And she told me that I would have to get her approval for expenses of $600 or more. And I'm the chief operating officer. And I pushed back on that. She wanted to sign off on every personnel action in the organization. And I pushed back on that too, right? And so, but what I realized is that every other person that she had hired was a person that had low experience. And while they may have had a college degree or even a law degree in the case of her general counsel, they had no prior experience in any of those roles. So they were very reliant on her opinion and her approval to do their jobs. And so they were doing everything based on whatever she wanted them to do. And also out of gratitude, many of them expressed how grateful they were that she had given them the job that she had given them, because they clearly didn't feel that they were fully qualified to do those jobs, right? And I think there's something similar going on with the current administration. You have people who are clearly unqualified for their jobs. The Secretary of Health and Human Services, who has no background in health and is a clear nut job. The person who's now in charge of the FBI, the person who's in charge of the Department of Defense, the person who is in charge of the so-called DOJ office. None of these are people who have the qualifications or experience to do those jobs. They've been put in that there simply because they're sycophants who are going to suck up to their orange leader and do whatever it is that that person wants them to do. And that's the only qualification they need. And this is a person who loves to talk about merit and qualifications. But every person that he has hired is an underqualified person. And the reason that is because they're not there to do anything but his bidding. They're there to simply rubber stamp and do whatever he tells them to do, or those who are pulling his strings tell them to do. And so it's not necessary for them to have qualifications. It's not necessary for them to have experience, right? But when people like us go into these roles, we have to be overqualified most of the time to have them, right? And when you find one of us who is not qualified, you will often see them behaving like a sycophant and behaving like a suck-up, like all the rest of the other suck-ups, because they know that they don't deserve to be there. It happens, but it's rare, right? For example, at that job I just mentioned, there was a person, he was overfinanced. He had a college degree, but he didn't have his CPA. And he talked to me about the fact that he wanted to get his CPA. He felt, he felt that he was underqualified because he didn't have a CPA. And so again, he felt the need to go along to get along. And I had to remind him that even though he didn't have his CPA, he did have his master's degree, he did have his undergraduate degree, and he was more than qualified to be in the role that he was in. And I remember encouraging him to go and get his CPA and get the hell up out of that organization, right? Because this was a brother, and I felt the need to say those words to him and give him some encouragement on my way out the door. But over and over again, I have seen, situations where certain people are put in these roles and they're clearly not qualified to be in them. They're in those roles because of what they look like. And they like to project that onto us and say that we're the ones that are being given jobs because we are, quote, DEI. But honestly, the people who are given jobs because of who they look like, what they look like and who they know are almost never us, right? And the thing is that they project that onto us because they know it's actually really true about them. And this current administration engages in endless gaslighting and endless projection. So anytime you see them say something negative about someone, 9 times out of 10, they're doing the thing that they're accusing the person of doing. They're really the thing that they're accusing someone else of being. And this is not limited to this regime and this administration. This is something that you will see the majority group in the United States of America do to Black people in particular, and all people of color all the time, is try to project onto us the shortcomings that they themselves have. So it's very important to pay attention, especially now, and to see what is happening with very clear eyes, because a lot is happening all the time, every day. And as I said to you guys before, it's very intentional, right? So it's important to focus on the right things. But I think it's important to understand that what you are observing is an exercise in assembling a staff of incompetence on purpose, right? Their incompetence is actually their qualification in this case. Their lack of knowledge is their qualification in this case. Because they are underqualified, because they have no real knowledge about the jobs that they have been put into, they're pliable, they're easy to manipulate, and they're easy to control. And that's the whole point. Okay? So I just wanted to share that thought. I'd love to hear what you guys think, but I think it's important to understand what you're witnessing as you're witnessing it. Because in order to make sense of it, I think it's important to understand the rationale behind some of this stuff. So, what I see is an assembly of incompetence, and that the assembly of incompetence they've literally been assembled as incompetence on purpose, and their incompetence is their qualification. So those are my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think. Share it in the comments. As I said, I won't be dropping another video until Monday, because I may drop one over the weekend, but I'm not sure yet. But I won't be dropping a video on Friday because I will be participating in the blackout. So if you're participating in blackout, you can tell me that in the comments as well. If you're not participating, it's okay to not comment. Just want to put that out there. Being a contrarian is not something that I value. So, commenting just to be a contrarian is not something that I find particularly useful, especially not right now. So, if you're not participating, you don't have to comment. If you are participating, I would be interested in hearing your comment and knowing why you decided to participate. So I will see you guys either over the weekend or definitely in a video on Monday. Okay? Enjoy the rest of Black History Month and enjoy Friday Blackout Day. Bye.